Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Telos DST. This board features Telos's dual camber with tip rockers, which is basically Cam Rocker 2.0, so you have a flattened down camber that comes down with rocker in the tip and the tail. That center camber is going to give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive, while that rocker in the tip and the tail is going to give you ease of entry in and out of turns, as well as more optimal powder float. This board is available in 154, 158, and 162. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a sunny bluebird day with warm temps. You had slush, chop, chunder, firm fast groomers, or soft and creamy groomers, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. The rocker zones and the tips are the softest section of this board, and then where it hits that camber section, it drastically stiffens up and the torsional flex matches that flex. Overall, it's past the middle of the road, all mountain free ride flex. Now, when it comes to stability, you are going to get chatter in the tips just from that rocker, but by and large, it mostly doesn't resonate back underfoot. And when you get into firmer snow, this board basically just skips across any undulation that you have in there. If you do take a hard jarring hit into like a death cookie or a death boulder, you're gonna feel it, and so you gotta be aware of it. That'd probably be the only time that this board would buck you. Otherwise, this board is very smooth when you get into uneven terrain. The nice thing about this camber profile is that rocker in the tail acts like a springboard when you load the camber through the middle up. So when you load it up and roll back, you hit that flex point right where the rocker meets the camber, and this board's gonna spring. It's gonna boost you. You're gonna be able to launch a side hit. You're gonna just go off a cat track gap. You don't have to worry about popping on a roller. It's gonna get you up in the air. There's some fight from the camber section and flex of this board when you butter on it, but when you get your weight way outside the bindings and you really leverage the nose or tail, you can get this board sideways, really push into it, and it's like a spatula through the snow. It just wants to push any soft snow out of the way, and you can really get weird with it. You just have to be aware that there is some fight, so you're gonna snap and pop out of anything that you're doing. This board can carve. It's got a fluid edge-to-edge transmission with a lot of power behind it, so when you're on edge, you can really drive that camber section and push off the tail and lay a trench with it. Now, one thing I did notice with this board was that it was a little hooky right out of the wrapper. The more I rode it, the less that hooking up seemed to go away, so I didn't have to worry about it too much, but I want you to be aware out the wrapper it may feel a little hooky to you, especially right inside the inserts or right underfoot. Now, short, tight, quick carves, medium, mellow carves, and deep, hard, aggressive carves, it's got you covered. You get power out of this board so you can slingshot in and out of turns. When it's on edge, you can do a little bit of ankle flexion just to kind of change the angulation of the carve. Overall, this board rips a turn. Who's this board for? The all-mountain free ride guy. So I've ridden this board enough to know that that hooky feeling that I got from it didn't seem natural. It was almost like this board had been twisted coming out of the press, and as it was a sample, that may have been it. So you might not experience that with this board. I looked at it from all angles. I laid it flat. I checked everything, and I couldn't see one edge or the other sitting slightly higher. So it might not have been twisted, or it might have, and then the more I rode it, it just broke in and went to its natural shape, which would explain why that hookiness dissipated. Overall, this board's consistent. You know what you're gonna get. That load and pop from the center is really easy to engage off that rocker in the tail. It rails a turn. It's a smooth, consistent ride. I really like what Telos has done with this. I like the unique shape of it. It turns heads when people are like, oh, what's that thing? Overall, you can charge with this board if you want to, or you can be a little bit more laid back. Comparable boards: the Nitro Suprateam, the Yes Pick Your Line Ink, the Niche Aether. Binding recommendations: the Rome Cleaver, the Now Select Pro, the Nitro Phantom. This has been my review of the Telos DST. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.